My last flavor text video looked at the darkest quotes in magic. So this time around, we're lightening things up a bit by looking at the most inspiring ones. The cards on this list are full of motivational quotes, emotional story beats, and calls to action. The best of them dare us to be more than we currently are. Let's start with Oblation. A richer people could give more, but they could never give as much. This line almost sounds like something out of a sacred text. It suggests that the value of our sacrifices will be judged by a more complex calculus than perhaps we know. Believe in the ideal, not the idol. Worship is a rebuke to personality cults and shallow objects of devotion. We must be careful what we elevate to the highest place. The willow knows what the storm does not, that the power to endure harm outlives the power to inflict it. Pain is real, but Blood of the Martyr asserts that resilience and healing are realer still. Some say that time is cyclical and that history inevitably repeats. My will is my own. I won't bow to fate. It's easy to feel that our lives are totally outside of our control. Perhaps we shouldn't sell ourselves so short. Each year that passes rings you inwardly with memory and might. Wield your heart, and the world will tremble. Aging can feel horrible and frightening, but Doran's flavor text is all about the wisdom that comes with growing older. It's a sweet sentiment, and perhaps not an untrue one. No life is without meaning. No living thing is too small to be strong. Healer of the Pride tells us that we are more important than we think, and that even our most unassuming choices might have immense consequences. No one spoke. There was no need. The threat of the Eldrazi presented a simple choice. Lay down your weapons and die for nothing, or hold them fast and die for something. Death is inevitable. We're all in whether we like it or not. Better make it count. When you have the chance, take it. Laugh, sing, dance. Don't allow the night to end. A simple but poignant reminder that life is fleeting and should be savored. The things I once imagined would be my greatest achievements were only the first steps toward a future I can only begin to fathom. Omniscience suggests that our dreams and goals might shift as we approach them, leading us to more exciting places than we initially envisioned. I use maps to find out where explorers have already been. Then I go the other way. A bold call to individuality. From mortal hope, immortal power springs. This is an interesting one. It suggests that even if there is no objective higher power, our belief in ideals, and more importantly, our acting them out, is what makes them real. The horizon is the perpetual ideal, the constant promise of hope. We should never be satisfied, Seek the Horizon tells us. And we should never despair. There is always higher to climb. Only the warrior who can admit mortal weakness will be bolstered by immortal strength. Another intriguing one. Angelic Blessing insists that there's power in acknowledging our flaws. The turning of the tide always begins with one soldier's decision to head back into the fray. A recurring theme among white cards is the idea that the meek matter, and that small acts of courage can remake the world. I stand for every cobbler, tanner, and fool in this town, and they stand for me. A striking statement on the strength in numbers. The highway of fear is the shortest route to defeat. To quote another deeply philosophical text, fear is the mind killer. As the sky opened, we ran for shelter. Halfway there, I came to the sudden realization that, already soaked, there might be more to gain from experiencing the rain than running from it. This one is pretty zen. I am the first line of defense. You will not encounter the second. A very badass quote. Imagine being the kind of person who could say this and mean it. If there can be no victory, then I will fight forever. If success is impossible, then giving up seems logical. But the flavor text of Darksteel Plate flips that, suggesting that there's nobility in fighting even losing battles. She raised him from an orphaned pup and gave him a life of love. With his last act, he thanked her. This might be the most emotional flavor text in all of Magic. What a good boy. On my death, I give you this treasure, the knowledge that life is hard, yet too soon past. A beautiful paradox. You are not alone. You never were. This one is awesome, sounding like something from the climax of a fantasy novel. The scene where the reinforcements arrive, the moment defeat flips into victory. It's also a reminder that the things that most seem to isolate us, our regrets, our shame, our grief, these are the very things that we have in common with every human on the planet. One life at a time. That is how the world will be saved. Again, a statement on the big impact of small victories. Someday someone will best me, but it won't be today, and it won't be you. We should all aspire to this level of mastery and this level of confidence. The gods are not always kind, but they do have a soft spot for plucky underdogs. A good thing to remember when the odds feel stacked against you. If the worst parts of history can repeat themselves, it stands to reason that the best parts can as well. A thought that might bring some comfort to those appalled at the current state of the world. To care for yourself, cultivate the world. To care for the world, cultivate yourself. Evolution Sage also sounds like a quote from a real-world religion. It says that there's no difference between serving others and serving your highest self. Even the wicked have nightmares. Archangel of Thune dares us to become the kind of person that the wicked would fear. You can build a perfect machine out of imperfect parts. A deceptively simple one. Extraordinary outcomes don't require flawlessness, but they do demand coherence and effort. Start where you are, Coalition Victory tells us. Your so-called brokenness might be part of your design. She was born unable to walk. Through the eluder, she was able to fly. This is one of the few flavor texts that can compete with Selfless Savior in terms of emotional impact. It tells a whole story in 2 sentences. No reinforcements, nowhere to retreat, nothing to lose. A desperate situation becomes a call to action. If you must die today, make your death worthy of legend. Enough said. There is no greater coward than one who believes in nothing. Nihilism or apathy can sometimes seem cool, as if believing in something was a sign of naivety or foolishness. Conviction insists that there's nothing noble in rejecting meaning. Tiana Ship's caretaker says, "Nothing is too broken to mend." We better hope that's true, for all our sakes. Speak little, do much. Another epic quote that reads like something out of The Art of War. I alone determine my destiny. This one feels like a reference to the poem Invictus. It's a reminder that, while it often doesn't feel like it, we are ultimately the only real masters of our fate and captains of our soul. I pass to you all we have ever been. Go forth and become all we never could. This one acknowledges the flaws of our world, the mistakes made by the people of the past, and it challenges us to be better. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change we seek. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and consider joining my Patreon. On that note, I want to give a shout out to my very first patron, Christian Vachkov. Christian, thank you for the support.